We need the creator's economy. We need intervention. Seriously. We need a new economy, guys. We need a new economy because what we have right now sucks. It royally sucks. It's inflation, rising costs and pricing for homes, for rentals, for living, for groceries. Like it's serious, guys. Like the rental pricing and the current dynamic of our economy isn't based on the goodwill of people. It's really needing some cleaning up. We need the creator's economy. Imagine where we are right now. If you are experiencing inflation, you know what I'm talking about. You know how much this is impacting your finances. It's impacting your retirement. It's impacting your current state of thoughts and what you're thinking about the future. If you're in a situation where you have a job and what you're getting paid isn't matching what the cost and the rising cost prices are right now for living, and how that's impacting your ability to enjoy life fully. Like, this is real to people. This is what's on people's minds. Finance, economy, wealth building, the ability to live a good life and not be burdened by a system on workaholism and a system that has you work till you die, and where you are scrimping and saving, or where some people may have an abundance. There may be some who do, but there's very few, not the many. So this economy that we live in right now isn't built upon a foundation of love and one love. It is built upon a foundation of greed and selfishness, which isn't God's will. So we are at a pivotal point, because how do we cross over? How do we get from here, this place that's going down a train wreck of depression, suicide, and inflation prices, trying to find rent? OMG. The pricing is ridiculous. It keeps climbing, and I ask myself, why is it that the rent prices are so high? Like, compared to a few years ago when we were paying $1,700 for rent. Now it's like over $3,000 for very little space. And this is not just in the United States. This is also in Europe. So you have to ask yourself, what's driving that economy? What's driving that pricing? Why is it that there's a trend to increasing pricing and the cost of living for people? We are meant to live a different lifestyle. This is not God's will, y'all. This is not the Creator's will. So we have an economy that's tanking. It's old. It's built upon a foundation that is not for the best and in the best interest of all. It leads you to burnout. It leads you to workaholism. It puts money on your mind instead of creator. For some, maybe not for all, but for some, money. How do I make the money? How do I make more money? How do I put the money in my bank account? Safety and security is built upon money for many. Security, survival needs. This keeps us in a spiral loop of making money a false god. And it keeps us in a place of worry, fear, and of course, because you're not living, prosperity, abundance, and all that Creator wants us to live. Many are not living that. Some are, but many are not living that state of being or consciousness, and is not living from a place of joy. today I was asking myself, because this is the lessons that's coming up for me, is about safety and security. Where do I put my safety and security? Is it in money? And this was the big aha for me, because I'm, working on my relationship with the Creator. And really, one of the big things is security for me, safety and security. Like, am I safe in this world? And I was putting that on money. And the beloved Creator was showing me that when you put your security on a temporary thing that's created by man, on money that is not the source, I've made that a God. You understand? And I'm putting all my attention in that, which inevitably excludes the Creator, because my attention is all about making the money instead of, what is my purpose? How can I serve others? It shifts me into a whole new vibration of love and service and purpose, and coming from that place of joy. Now that's prosperous, right? Versus, how can I make the money? I got to pay the bills. You know what I mean? I got to pay the bills. It's all about me, 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 and my pocket. I don't care about you and what you got to do. It's about me, 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 filling my pocket. And that is the current narrative of the selfish ego. A current system that is built upon the me model. Very selfish, very self-absorbed. It's all about its own self. It doesn't include the other. And you can see Wall Street, you can see our financial markets, you can see even businesses, business owners. There are many people who, instead of love in the heart leading, there is greed leading and selfishness. And it's impacting the decisions we make. It impacts our service to others. It impacts everything. So currently, right now, we have a system that's not built upon the Creator's economy, because man went ahead and built their own, thinking that they knew what they were doing, excluded the Creator out of the design. And so what do you expect is going to be the consequence and the effect of man thinking and excluding Creator? Well, what do we see right now? A train wreck. We are in times where it's dire, because we're experiencing this. This is real to us. I'm not making this shit up. This is real, because we're looking. We are when we're looking for homes for rent or for a place to buy. This is a real situation. Real. So how do we go from one system, which is built on greed and selfishness? You can call that the corrupt ego, the antichrist, whatever you want to label that thing over there, which isn't coming from the Creator's one love and inclusion. And it's a whole, the system is built upon self alone, selfishness, and making money a god. How do we make that transition over to a prosperity, to the Creator's prosperity model? This is the delicious part, because Creator's prosperity model is for all of us to live a life of prosperity. Money is not a god. We have an abundance and we're living our purpose. And the Creator is the one that leads the heart. Do you know what I mean? So Creator's love is one love, leads the heart. And from there, there's service. There's love, there's contribution, there's purpose. We're living our purpose while we're here. So the Creator, our higher self, is the one that's serving through us and is giving the gifts of our soul and serving others from our purpose. Isn't that more delightful coming from that place? And the Creator's prosperity model isn't going to lead us to burnout, to a place of doing, and workaholism. It's a whole different model that's really meant to bring us joy and to alleviate the stresses that we face in our economy. It's like making decisions from a whole different place. In our hearts, we're making decisions with our beloved Creator. And when we make decisions with our higher self, our beloved creator, however you term that higher power, we are including that higher wisdom, that higher intelligence into our life to help us to make decisions that will lead us to that brighter future in our lives. So prosperity is delicious because it's more than money. Money is like the byproduct. It's like compared to prosperity, that flow, that circuitry, that connection, that wholesomeness, the flow from the creator, that you feel that connection. It's wealthy. It's so fulfilling on so many levels of the soul. Like money by itself is nothing compared to what creator wants to give us. Like what creator wants to give us is a way more delicious. It is a whole different way of thinking and being. But imagine like being prosperous and becoming the virtues of who you are, living from your purpose, being connected to who you are, and serving from that place of contribution and consciousness, where we all care about each other, that business is done in one love versus selfish and profit over people, where the prices are fair. Like whatever we have as an economy, I don't know how this is going to look monetarily, right? But it's not what we have right now, where we're working for the money or we're working to live. Like F that. That's not living. That is not living. And what that puts us in is into like a rat race of slavery. It's like a workaholism and a workhorse mentality where you're just doing and you're doing and you're doing. And it doesn't set you free. So I made a personal choice. I was in the shower when I had this realization, guys. And I made a choice. I said, I will not put my safety and security in money. I cut the strings. Peace out. All done. Peace. Now, I'm not denying that in this reality, we need to create income to buy things, pay our bills. I'm not denying the reality of the current world we live in. All right. I'm not saying, oh yeah, go pack your bags and go on vacation, not worry about the money. You gotta be responsible. We gotta be responsible. What I'm talking about is a choice to move my attention and my security system from money to the creator. The beloved source is my security and safety. That is where I'm putting my faith, my security and safety in this world. It is not built upon money, because when I put my attention as money as my safety and security, or where I'm happy, that doesn't complete my soul purpose. It leaves out a big chunk of my soul and my divine beingness. So purpose is much more expansive and more inclusive and a lot more prosperous, because I'm coming from my purpose, why I'm here, and what the creator wants to do through me, aka through you and through many. Because each one of us has a soul purpose. Each one has a unique blueprint, a unique calling inside of you that the creator has created you for, to contribute and to create a lifestyle, a life that's worth living, that is free from the current economy. But there is a work that has to be done, y'all. There has to be an internal work in the heart and a cleaning out, so that we are not relying upon our egoic personality or own understanding of what we think we need to do in our lives. The only way out of this is to include the creator back in our lives, in our hearts again, to help heal the heart, so that the heart is in humility. It is melting, like it's like shedding all that gunk of the ego that leaves the creator out, and returning to that humility and that surrender to include the one that is our first love, the beloved creator in our hearts. And that in itself is a whole sacred work. But it starts with just the intention to follow the creator's will and include our beloved in our decisions. That leads us to a new future. that includes the creator in our finances, in our relationships. Everything changes when the higher self leads and is the one making the choices and decisions. There is an active role, though, that we have to make or take or do, which is to ask and include. And that's a whole different video that we'll talk about another time. But this is a surrendering process and a humility that needs to enter the heart again, so that the creator is the one that's living, breathing, and executing his will through our hearts, in business, in finance, in everything. That the creator is the one living, higher self living through as us. We are one. Boom. We're one will running the show. One will running the show, instead of an ego self, which is in rebellion to the creator's will. So I was asking the creators, like, how do we create this prosperity here? Like, this would bring me the greatest joy to see a complete transformation of our economy right now to the economy of the creator. Like, I would love to see the creator's prosperity on earth, or to even see our system. I don't know what that would look like yet, but a system that isn't built on money. Like, oh my God, that would just bring me so much joy. Can you imagine, guys? Like, money is not like, you don't have to live to make money. It would just be so freeing. Like, that would just be huge. Where you don't have to worry about money. Like, everybody is like totally A-okay, you know, and all we have to do is just work on our purpose, our service, whatever that is, you know. Now, I know this seems far-fetched. It may seem dreamy. It may seem idealistic. It may seem out of this world because we've never seen it before. We're not even used to that. We're used to this economy that royally sucks, because look at the inflation prices. Look at the economy and how businesses are run. And, you know, it's greedy. It's for profits. It's not built upon the creator's love, one love, which is truly the opposite, which is really caring about each other, consideration for the other, love, one love, servitude. It's like creator serves through us, you know. And in order for, one of the things I was exploring about this prosperity is like, what does it look like? One of the thoughts I had is like, I'd have to really be tuning into the frequency of it and really feel that in my heart to co-create this in my life and in this world. But more importantly, pray. Like, I was like, creator, I'm asking for your assistance here, because it's getting worse. The current economy is getting worse. Okay, think about where you were before this time and how much money you're spending more on groceries, your rent if you're renting, maybe you're looking to buy a home, whatever it is, how things are just increasing. What is going to happen to people? Are they going to go homeless? Like, what is going to happen? I'm just grateful that we have the sustenance right now. I'm grateful for the sustenance. I'm grateful for the creator providing for us as a family, you know. But there are many who are not okay, and are struggling. It's impacting the collective consciousness. Depression is on the rise. This is real talk, guys. Real talk. I walked in somewhere and I saw a posting somebody made, like, why is the rent so high? Why is it so high? Why is the rent so high? Why is it that it's increasing? I saw a poster about this somewhere, and I was like, whoa, well, that's interesting, because that's what we're going through. So if I was also feeling today that when we no longer make money a god, because that's our current world right now, money's on the mind, and God, the creator, higher self, is like backseat, right? When we no longer make that a god, then God can lead. The creator can lead us. There's a free will choice in that, to surrender and to no longer make those things our God. It has to be the one true self that lives and breathes as us, through us. We have no life without the creator. The breath of life that we have comes from the creator, is the source itself. that gives us life. So when we live without the creator, it's like, or we live without the higher self, it's a betrayal to who we are. It's an injustice, and this is something I'm realizing more and more of how it really is supposed to be. Like the current world we have right now is out of course. Like it is not the normal. It's not supposed to be. It shouldn't be normal. It's a complete antithesis of what we are supposed to have, which is a very intimate, loving relationship with our creator, our higher self. It's supposed to be so intimate that you can have a conversation with that aspect of you, which is in spirit, and ask guidance and include and have a relationship with. It's your beloved. It's like husband and wife type of thing. It is not a stranger, a foreigner that we've just abandoned, So it's a coming home to who we are, an acceptance of our truth and our purpose and our divinity and our soul purpose, and coming back into that space of ownership of our truth and living from this authenticity so that we can co-create a new future from a new state of consciousness, of one love, of God consciousness, Christ consciousness, whatever consciousness you call that. It's coming from a whole different frequency, vibration, essence. And there's a sacred work that has to be done, because even in my own shadow work, I'm having to constantly ask God for help to tweak, to shift my consciousness from the old, which is lack, greed, entitlement, all that, to a new state of consciousness, which is prosperity, abundance, wealth consciousness, God consciousness, servitude, care, all of that. It may be different for everyone, but this is my personal journey going from A to B. Like I'm having to unwind and let go of all that gunk and come back to the source. And that is the only way out of hell. Seriously. It is the only way out. The creator, the higher self, higher power is the only anchor we have right now. It's the only anchor, period. It's the only anchor that can set us free, which is true freedom. Money is not the true freedom. There are many people who get rich and wealthy and are not free. They're not free. Some of them are miserable, and they drink, or they use. Let me be mindful of what I say. I don't want to judge people who drink, okay? That's your free will choice. But what I'm saying is they use external things to fill the void and the gap inside. Some people use alcohol. Some people use sex. Some people use people. Like there are many external things that a person may try to utilize to fill the gap of the internal, which is that place in the heart where only the creator can reside. Only the source can reside in our hearts, where that union and that connection happens. And then that inclusion of who we truly are, the higher self, which is love. But many don't go that route. Many don't surrender to the higher self. Many don't go that route because there's pride. And that pride, they may not have consciously put it there, because I realized I had that pride. And I'm like, help me with this pride, higher self, because I did not put that there. Where did it come from? I want you, but I see the gap here. There's something in the way. And it is the silent rebellion of the false self that is in the unconscious. I call it the enemy, that has its own narrative that seeks to create separation between God's people and the source. Now, how does this all tie back up into prosperity and a new world of living? It's all tied in because the heart is where if we're living from our hearts, then we live from love, we live from the Creator's one love, then a new world can be created. A new world, we can co-create that. We can see that. But if it's greed and it's pride and it's the same lower self running the heart, no way. I mean, I'm praying for intervention anyway, okay? So I'm just going to say that right now. Praying to the Creator for intervention, because we need it. And when humanity has gone down a certain track, And it's like, this is what we have right now. If you look in the world, this is what we got going on right now. This isn't supposed to be normal. This is not normal. And it's, and we may see, like, how is it possible to see a change, TA? How are we going to see a change? Is it possible? I believe so. I really believe that when we, as one person and another person, when we pray, and I've seen the power of prayer in my life, and I've been seeing it now more than ever. I'll give testimonials about that, because all glory be to the Creator for His grace and His interventions in my life that is changing my internal history. When I say internal history, I'm talking about patterns that are not representative of the higher self. When the Creator comes in and He does His magic, and He does His wonderful things in your heart, or in my heart, then I've seen the changes. Then I know the Creator answers my prayers, okay? I'm seeing it tangibly too when I asked the Creator for help with finding a place for us, because we needed somewhere in Miami. Creator provided it. Okay, the Creator is stepping in and interceding and helping us to find a way where there is none. We were looking for somewhere and the cost was so high. And I was like, what is going down? What is going on down there? What is going on in this economy? Why are they charging so much money for a hotel room or an Airbnb? Even Airbnb. And I was like, what is going on? But anyway, prayed about it, because we couldn't find one that was reasonable and fair. Okay, in my viewpoint, fair, because it was just high prices. Okay. Today was looking and found one that I didn't see before. So it shows me that the Creator answers our prayers. This is just one instance. I have so many more. So prayer has the power to, when we call upon the Creator, we're asking for intervention. We are asking. So ask and ye shall receive. The Creator comes in. When the Creator comes in and does His magic, He does the heavy lifting. The Creator does the heavy lifting. Higher self does the heavy lifting. We just have to turn and say, hey, we need your help. We need help. Yes, we need you. It's okay to ask for it. Okay? And through our prayers, Creator can step in because of free will choice. The Creator doesn't step in unless we ask, because that will be interfering with free will choice, which is one of the laws, right? We gotta recognize the power of asking. When we ask the Creator can intercede. So prayer changes history. Internally, my history is changing because I'm relying on the Creator to help me out, right? To change my internal world, behaviors, patterns, etc. And intercession in my life where I'm asking for help. Doors open that never opened before, right? Things just happen and you're like, I did not do that. Creator did that. Creator did that. Creator is making it happen. I'm going to talk about that in another video, okay? So when we come from the heart and we're asking for help, and many ask for help around this, it changes the course of history. It changes the course of history. Right now, in our world, our economy can change when we pray. When we ask the Creator for intercession, we ask the Creator for help. And that's real. That is so real. It's so real. Imagine Creator has His children turning back to Him, however, the one source, asking, we need your help. We need you here on earth. We need you. We need you. We need you. We need you. We cannot live without the Creator's interventions. There are many interventions that we don't even know about. Okay? A lot of interventions through the grace of the Creator that changed the course of karmic history that humanity would have had to experience and go through a rough, muddy period. But because I'm telling you, Creator is already interceding and many of us don't even know it. There are many situations that could have happened globally, natural disasters, events in our political arena, many things could have happened. But the Creator, when you pray to the Creator, and many do, including me and many others I know, Creator steps in and intercedes so that instead of there being a war, there's peace deal. Instead of there being this president that's going to cause this, or this politician or whatever that's going to come in and drench the economy and kill many people, you're going to have a whole different outcome because the higher self Creator is directing and stepping in. So here is the proof in the pudding that when we pray to the Creator for intercession in terms of our economy or whatever it is you ask for in your life, then we are inviting the Creator to work on our behalf, to step in, because we need a higher intelligence, a higher power to change things. But it starts with a change of heart. And the only one, so what I do is I'm asking Creator to help heal my heart so I can be the change. It starts with that surrender and that willingness to acknowledge that we are out of course. We've forgotten the source and who we truly are and all that. There's much more to this, but this is the Creator's will is love and care, and truly sincerely wants us to thrive and live a life of prosperity and abundance and freedom. And my mind may not be able to comprehend this because I've never seen a world like that, you know? But I have faith and I believe that if I just ask God, and I'm going to keep on praying, I'm going to ask the higher self, Creator, we need you. We need you, we need you, we need you. We need you. We need your economy. Thy will be done. We need your heart. We need your way of doing business. We need your way of finance. We need your way of your inventions to create solutions to problems that we have on earth. We need you. When I talk about prosperity, we're talking about inventions, cures. We're talking about new ways of doing things that we never thought of. Like amazing, brilliant, magnificent ideas that are going to give birth to a whole new world. And it really does start with each one of us. When I really think about it, like when you tap into your purpose and why you are here, some people don't even know. Some people don't even know why they're here and what God wants to bring through them. It could be an invention or a cure to something. It could be something that you're here to do that you didn't even know you could do. You know what I mean? That the Creator will do through you. And when many are stepping into their purpose, when many know what their purpose is, are including the Creator in their lives, because living purpose without the Creator, no sorry. Because then what happens is the ego leads and makes decisions, and same goes the train wreck. You know, the only one that can lead us to a brighter future is the Creator's God consciousness, and that state of consciousness and inclusion of the divine intelligence. So purpose, living in our purpose. Find out what that is. Asking the Creator to show us, lead us to our purpose. What are we here to do to serve? And including the Creator into our lives. Asking the Creator for healing where it's needed, so we can do the inner work, so we can shift our consciousness from the lack, greed, entitlement, selfishness pattern to a consciousness of God consciousness, Christ consciousness, whatever name you call that, which is love. And that consciousness has to take us over. It needs to lead in our mind and our hearts. It has to take over. It has to be a free will choice you make, where you are choosing that instead of selfishness, because you still have free will choice, but it has to become the new pattern in us that is taken roots inside of us, that we don't even want to touch or drink or eat from the old system anymore, that we don't even want that running in our systems, our body, our mind, our cells, our DNA. We don't want nada of it. It's like leaving and divorcing the old system and marrying God's kingdom and system. Marrying the Creator. Say, here you go. I'm all yours. I'm all yours. And seeing that system, that not system, but that way of being and the essence of who we truly are shining through our hearts. There is a sacred work, though. It is making the unconscious conscious, and it's about doing that shadow work, and it's about surrendering to the Creator, because Creator will do the heavy lifting. So if we need healing, shadow work, shifting our mindset and our consciousness from lack, selfishness, and all that stuff to the opposite, which is the Creator's consciousness of love, prayer, Creator will do the heavy lifting, but we have to do part of it too. We have to go in and dig and bring out all that gunk and replace all that with the truth and the foundations of the Creator's love and God consciousness and all that, which is God's will. So reprogramming our foundations and involving the Creator into our lives, doing the healing, the shadow work, all of that is part of our sacred healing journey of returning back to who we are. And when we do that, then we no longer operate from a conditioning or foundation or automatic programming that comes from the lower self or from the self that is the enemy, because that is consciousness that runs in parallel or in the unconscious. If you do not make it conscious, it will run you on automatic and make your life choices. Okay? Block soul purpose, because its intention is not to bring about purpose. Its intention is not about people living a life of freedom. Its intention is not to serve and to care about another. Its intention is not about God's will on earth and God's prosperity on earth. Its intention is not about living a life that's not built upon money as being a god, right? The current system is built upon that right now. So it is not, that system is not including the Creator. We have to be the change for us to see a new future, which is built upon prosperity and God's love on earth. One love on earth, where we become the one love, we become the prosperity, we become who we are. And when we are who we are, we shine. Creator can shine His deliciousness through us. We become who we are. We become the vessel that's in surrender, and it's in allowance and in surrender to that love, because what we're really truly surrendering to is love. Love's leadership, love's guidance, love's wisdom, love's economy, and love for each other. And when that leads, we have a whole new world. So where this surrender happens is in our heart. It's surrendering the pride. It's surrendering to the Creator. It's surrendering so that the beloved love, the love that we truly are from the Creator, the higher self, can be what channels through us and lives through us as we are one with the Creator. Because we're not separate. We're one. So if you resonate with this message and feel in your heart that you want the same thing, then you know what to do. This whole video has been talking about calling upon a higher power. That's a lifeline that I see right now, because I don't think we can do this on our own. No, I don't think so. I think the ego cannot do it on its own. So the ego thinks that it can do it on its own, that it can change the course of history. Or we may think that, oh, it's not possible. It's not possible. That we cannot see a new future, that this is the way it is and we have no power to change it. Right? But I know that we cannot do this on our own. No leader on this planet can do it on its own. Though we need the Creator's intervention. This is the only way out of where we're heading in our world. And it does require humility and surrender to acknowledge that. Like the way we are heading, the only one that can pull us out is the beloved Creator. Because who created the entire universe to begin with? the higher creator, higher self, knows the solution to every problem, is a solution for everything. So wherever we are in our lives, we are not powerless victims. We are powerful co-creators. So we can co-create a new future with the creator by just inviting the creator in and inviting our higher selves to intercede for us in this area or wherever you want intercession. Higher self is always available for you and wants you to thrive, win, and live a life of joy and prosperity, because that is what's normal. Joy is what's normal. Prosperity is normal. Success is supposed to be normal. Contribution and purpose is supposed to be normal. That is the way of the higher self. That is what's supposed to be normal. So, I'm not leaking in here, but we're not powerless. So where's the power, the responsibility we have is to ask, invite, include, surrender, and co-create. Envision a new future with the beloved. This is what is the only way out of where we are. The only way out is the higher self's intervention. And that intervention can only come when we are asking for that. So I'm going to be asking for it and pray I see it in my lifetime, so that not only am I free, but my child, my son, is free from this system that we're living in. And your child or many other children or the next generation don't inherit a world or a current economy that's like this one, that is drenched in depression. It's just deadly. It sucks out the life out of people. It sucks out the joy out of people. It sucks out the joy of life. It sucks it out. It's like a vampire, and it leeches on and sucks out the life out of people. Because people work and they work and they work. And instead of living that type of workaholism and greed and that lifestyle that is not built upon God's prosperity, then people don't do work they love. They don't follow what they love. They don't listen to the heart. They're just trying to pay the bills. So a lot of people are working jobs, are working in careers and doing things for the money. A lot of people feel they don't have a choice, and for some that may be their situation, you know. And some people don't even recognize that they are depressed. They don't even recognize that they're not even feeling joyful, that it's normal to feel how they're feeling. But I was like, am I feeling joyful? Because if I'm not feeling joyful, something is off. Okay? But I'm talking about doing work you love. Doing more than work, but contribution and service from a place of joy and a place where you are living from your purpose. This is not just a random job you pick up. This is your purpose. When you tap into your purpose, like right now, I'm on here because this is my purpose, okay? My purpose is supposed to share and communicate, okay? When you're living your purpose and you're connected to that purpose, most importantly, connected to your higher self, there's a joy that comes about. There's a fulfillment in your heart. And then opportunities, providence, the universe opens doors for you and does things that you never knew possible, because now you're tapping into the Creator's plan and will for your life. That purpose is so important and significant, because if it's placed in your heart, then it is meant to serve many or serve others. It is meant to be a contribution, and it is needed. It is needed, and it's placed in your heart for a reason, in your blueprint for a reason. So if you have a purpose, everyone has a purpose, but if you don't know what that is, then you end up following something that's not your purpose, that doesn't fulfill your soul, that doesn't create the prosperity that you're here to experience. It doesn't serve the many. It's a trickle down effect. So you wonder, like, how do you create prosperity in your life? And it all starts with asking and returning to the Creator, asking those questions that will help you to unlock and discover what your purpose is. Because your purpose has your blueprint and what you're here for. And from there, voila, you're in your joy, and you're doing it for the joy. You're doing it because you love it. And when you love something and you serve from there, ooh, it's sweet. So there's a two-part process. There's an internal and there's an external. There's an internal soul purpose, which is connecting to your higher self and cultivating that relationship and that connection. Because to do soul purpose without the higher self, that don't work. And then you got the external purpose, the external soul purpose, which is the expression of your soul purpose, your higher self, you, in business, in work, whatever you're doing, making a contribution from that place of your heart, which is joy and love, coming from that place of service. So soul purpose equals prosperity. It's like all deliciousness all in one, and makes an impact not only for oneself, but for the many and for the world and for the earth that we live in, because we're all stewards and all equally responsible for what's happening right now. I just want to say thank you for listening. I'm going to end because I need to go blow my nose, but thank you so much for listening if you stayed until the end. I wish you all the best in your prosperity journey and all the best in your relationship with you, your higher self. I wish you all the best in whatever you choose, because that's your free will choice to choose whether you want a relationship with your higher self or you want to know your soul purpose, you don't want to know your soul purpose, whatever your choice is. I wish you all the best. Thank you for listening, and namaste.